Hey Watchers, welcome back to the channel. So I decided to do the first opponent for this week's Guild War. And let's go through first who I'm using. So I pulled this guy, the Uncommon Destroyer, last Guild War in the middle of it. And he is very strong, high HP, really good damage. So he is a huge upgrade for the front drop. He has a high cost, but I drop him in the front. For me, he's a big upgrade to the Knight of Destruction, who also has a reasonably high cost, is a little bit faster, doesn't have as high a HP, and doesn't do as much damage. The other guy that I got recently is the Stitched Carrion, so I'm kind of using him when they have high magic damage, and he has much lower cost. But for low mid-game, the Uncommon Destroyer is a huge upgrade. And the Knight of Destruction, though, you can use him if you don't have anything better. So let's take a look at this week's Opponent 1 in Guild War. So we're leading, and we're facing a level 8, we're a level 9. So taking a look at the leaderboards, what rank we are this week, much lower. We were around 975, I think, last week, and now we're at 1131. So that does well for me, being a little over-guilded. When I woke up this morning, I saw a lot of teams I could face. So this is another Russian guild, and they're in the 1 to 2 million BP range. There's a couple higher, but mostly in that 1 to 2. There's also a few lower. Taking a look at the rebels, we're also in that 1 to 2 million range, but we have a few more people above that 2 million range, or in the high 2 millions. So pretty good matchup for us this week so far. In the early mid-game, typically the first strikes in the first 12 hours or so are going to mirror how things end out. As you get a little bit higher, there's a bit more strategy on who attacks whom. So let's start off on defense and see how I did. I was hoping to get a win on defense this week, and so far nothing going. Lots of losses. So here's my main team, and I moved my AI a little bit, and she is very impactful. She is vulnerable in that spot, though. She can get healed, but she's very vulnerable, and those range attackers, they'll just take her out. So he's got her right there. So we actually stall this team pretty well until they overload us, and we're doing damage. We actually killed 1 or 2 of them before they overloaded us. So I feel pretty good about this. I mean, my BP is very low on this team. It's around 215 now. I think it was 205 last week, and it's 215 this week. So I feel pretty good about that team 1. Once they get some BP on it, it's going to be a decent team. So same team, fighting again. So they're going to send skellies and then those big DPS guys and some bombs. Kind of holding up against them, but the DPS guys are going to wear me away before the bombs even get to me. And then they'll glide on through. So not a lot going right there. AI, though, I'm a big fan. The new guaranteed legendary mage probably is going to slot in for her, but I don't know. We'll see. So on to the next one. So this is my B squad, and they're not that great. Orym is the tank. Valeria is not particularly strong in Guild War, and I've got her off to the side. So she's not going to DPS enough. Volka's not going to DPS enough, not going to provide enough support. And it's funny, though, Valeria actually tanks these range attacks really well, and then they break on through. So I felt pretty good about that, actually. So another loss there. No wins on defense so far, but defense is harder. It is a lot easier to win on offense. So let's go for the 4th battle. Same thing, B squad. See how this one does. So they got, these guys in bombs. Same offense they ran on the last one, and they're just going to plow through me. Yeah, as they get through, and strangely Orym was still standing, they just were able to rush through. So not really providing much of a defense right now. That one's at 240 BP, probably needs to be another 50-60 above, and have a better defender. So another defensive battle, same team, or same defense team. This time they're using the range attack again, and the mages, and the range attack, the rares aren't doing anything to Valeria, but she is really high HP And then when the mages finally get in range, they do take her out. So not so good to have her off to the side and vulnerable there, even though she can kind of tank some of them, but they'll walk right through me. So learning quite a bit from the defenses. Valeria is just not somebody I want to have in there. She can't hit 2 slots in front of her, so she can't be positioned behind the tank very well. She can, occasionally, but it's rare. So let's move on to offense, where I get started. So I use the Carrion over the Uncommon Destroyer because he has mages. I should have cleared the bottom mage, but I didn't, and that's probably my undoing. So this could have been a win, but it ends up being a loss. So I send the Carrion, and he dies a bit faster than I had hoped. Had I taken out that mage on the bottom, I probably could have used my Uncommon Destroyer, and this would have gone very differently. But still a learning curve. This was the first one I did as I woke up at 5:30 in the morning to get my pick of the litter. I try to rush through and nothing going. Don't have much left, just going to rush them. I did somehow take out that front guy, though. So now just trying to, hoping that I can get this air attack to go through, but no. Not going to do it, and they die at the end. So start off with a loss that I really wish I could have gotten back because, well, you don't want to lose these if you don't have to. I mean, if you're overpowered, like I was against opponent 1 last week, then you lose, but if you're not overpowered, you really don't want to lose these. He was about 280 BP, I was under 200 BP. Still a very winnable team. So I go into another one here. Alright, so they've got the upper mage and then the wrath. So I'm going to send my destroyer, and he's going to get slowed down. Kind of thinking at this point, maybe I should have just sent my archers first. I'll send another one as he starts wailing on the abomination. So I learned here to clear that wing before running the destroyer, and absolutely true. I need 2 spaces of separation from the wing to the tank. And if they've got that much separation, I can just run my archers first, even though they're only rares. So the destroyers push through, and I make that one pretty easily. But I did learn something there, and I'll apply it later. So we get the victory there, and I'll move on to the next fight. So we get started, and I'll clear the wings first this time, and this one should go pretty well. They got 2 mages. I clear them out, bottom and top, and then I can do my Uncommon Destroyer. In fact, actually, the mages cleared 3 before they even got to Volca, which was huge. So now I can send my destroyer. They've got Volca plus a DPS, and the destroyer can probably just solo through this. But that defense with the double wing out front is pretty susceptible. So yeah, plows right through Volca. I'll just send my hounds and finish this one off. So it's kind of learning the tricks of how many spaces do you need to be able to focus your range attack on those wings, and when will it fail. So if the tank is farther forward, is as far forward as it will go, then that might fail. So on to the next battle. And we've got a triple stacked box, so I go destroyers and bombs. So we'll start off with the destroyers. Walk slow. Send the second one. I do wait till it reaches 10 to send the second one. They are admirably wearing him down. But the second one's joining the mix now. They do have, and their DPS actually took out the front tank. And now I'm going to send hounds and bombs, try and take out that wrath. The wrath is still there, but then the destroyer takes him out, takes out arrogance, and now I can just send the hounds through, and we'll get this. Slows him down a little bit, but not enough. So I'll take the win there. I did a lot of practice last night on my own guild with the triple stacked box to try and finely tune that. And those destroyers really were a huge upgrade for me on picking them up. So, on to the next battle. We get started, we got a bottom wing, so I'm going to clear the wing, then run destroyers and bombs. And it looks like just an abomination in the center. So, Got the wing taken out, and the wing pulled them down, but it doesn't matter because they're going to die anyway. So I'm going to send the destroyer. I send all 4 because I want to guarantee they're going to get the job done. If I send 2, maybe they won't. Send the second destroyer. So I got bombs, hounds, and mosquitoes left. Theowen's kind of being annoying with that slow and AoE, but send the bombs in. And they'll go straight through as the destroyers take out the tank, which was Abomination, not a full tank, and we'll go straight through it. So get the win there. The Uncommon Destroyer is a huge upgrade over the other 2 options that I showed. So I'm not going to pretend that I would be winning just as easily without him, but those other 2 are pretty strong. So I finished off my battles, and I'm about number 4 on contribution for the season so far, with 15 wins and 9 losses. Hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.